Hey guys, you're here live with MVI. Today I wanted to bring to you our AV module with smartphone mirroring kit, mainly for the 14 to 18 Chevy Silverados, GMC Sierras. This does work also on 15 to 20 Tahoe, Yukon, and even Escalade, but it cannot have the factory overhead DVD system, so no factory RSE would not be compatible. It's technically compatible with SRX, Cadillac SRX, ATS, and XTS as well. Those are a little bit more complicated vehicles, but today I'm going to specifically cover Silverado and Sierra, what's in the box, what to expect, the reason why it takes so long for you to get it, etc. So, in the box itself, this is how I get it. Instructions, which I'll go over these here in a second. Comes with the module itself. One thing I'll point out of the box, the dip switches aren't even correct, so I'll cover that here in a second. So we go in and prep it. So I've got to get 3 hours of prep just in putting this one kit together, which is why there's such a delay. I can't just grab these boxes off the shelf and ship them out to you. It's about a 2 to 3 week process to get this once you place the order. So I'm going to go over all the connections, but it's got this little can box on the Silverados and Sierras. You'll have this harness here that'll connect at the screen. If you're doing a Cadillac, Escalade, SRX, ATS, etc., you would use this harness instead of this one. So 9 times out of 10 it's going to be this one. Got your AV inputs, so this does give you 2 audio video inputs and also a separate camera input if you wanted to so choose use. And it's got some audio out as well. So I go through and label them, which I'll show you here in a second, but this stuff all has a place to go on the module. Okay, and they're really keyed, can't really get them wrong, but audio switch, AV, and this doesn't really have AV, but it does say CVBS. Now my labels will say that. And then this, of course, just like this. And there is a little keyways on top of here, 2 little notches you got to make sure and pay attention to go into the grooves on top. Don't shove it in there. It needs to go in there nice and easy. Click in nice and easy. LVDS cables that do connect at the touchscreen. Can't really mess that up. These ports won't be used on this setup. Does also come with a little external switch. So some vehicles you would need this switch to activate it. Silverados, Sierras, Tahoes, Yukon, etc. won't be needed. Now, that's in the module itself and the contents. Now, smartphone mirroring, you got to order with either iPhone or Android or both, but the dongles cost extra money. This is Android, this is iPhone. Now with Android, go ahead and cover this real quick. You got to have, basically your phone has got to be capable of mirroring to a TV with a dongle. Can't mirror just straight to the TV, you got to be able to mirror to a dongle like a Chromecast in order for my setup to work. And it used to be called Mirrorcast. I'm not seeing that on here anymore. This phone just got a new update, so I'm going to test this phone, but should be the Smart View, I suppose, but we'll check that out here in a minute. So your phone's got to be capable of pairing to a dongle that can plug into a TV. If you can do that, then we can do it in the truck. Alright. You'll also get a, in the kit, combo HDMI USB port with 3-foot extension, USB cable that plugs into the side of the module right here. Okay. Depending on your phone, if you're Android, you'll get one of these that will connect into the module like so. And then the audio in, I'll go over that over there. If your iPhone, because Apple changed their software, this piece is no longer working for Apple. We send it with this one, which does require an extra piece. So I'll go over that here in a moment as well. But if your iPhone, you're going to get all of this in the kit. If you're Android, you're pretty much just going to get this and this. Okay. Last but not least, there's two audio cables. 14 to 15 trucks will get this. Connects at the radio module behind the screen. I don't have one here to show you handy. But you'll connect to the radio module behind the screen. 16 to 18, and then the SUVs that do not have the factory overhead RSC are going to get another cable, which I'll show you over here. So let's move over to the bench, and I've got everything set up here on the bench, so we can play with it as though we're in the truck. So first thing I'm going to point out, in order to hear the audio, you do need a dummy plug inserted into here. Okay, that's required for the audio to come through. You also need to be on aux audio. That's where you're going to hear it. Okay, so I'm going to go over the connections here. Here's that LVDS, goes over and connects to the back of the screen. The cable that was plugged into the screen will connect back to the LVDS. It's a T. Okay, goes right there. Screen 10 pin coming from our module. Again, our module has the T. The factory harness that was plugged into the screen plugs in right there. Audio switches. So I'm going to go over that here in just a moment. In fact, we'll just do that right now. So, since I'm going to show you with an iPhone, we've got our HDMI USB sync cable. That's going to plug in there. The other side of this module requires USB power, so you're going to plug it into my USB cable that plugs in right here. Okay, off of that is coming audio and video, so we need to go audio in. So depending on what input you're on, you can see, compared to what came out of the box over there, these switches are in much different positions. So 2 and 3 need to be down for input 1 and 2. 1 needs to stay up, it's not used. 2 and 3 stay down, that's it, unless you're going to add a camera, and then that will come on. That is pointed out in the instructions. So these instructions, I am trying to put together new ones. These are kind of hard to read, but you can see the dip switches right here I highlight, and then the other important stuff you need to pay attention to is also highlighted as well. This page I'll show you here in just a second. There are some settings, video adjustments you can do, which is important. This page covers it. I'll show you that here in just a moment. So this hooked up, we're going audio in. I'm going to just plug this and go to, these are labeled audio 1 in, so we need input. And then we're going audio out. I have this going out to a 16 customer. This is a harness that'll be taped up nice and neat. I had to do some fixing up with it, but it tees in at your factory USB port in the center armrest. Now, if you don't have the, this is one thing to point out, if you don't have the full center console and you have the split bench seating with the flip up console, this is a lot harder to get to. Going to be a whole lot more work, and it is required. So make sure you listen to this and pay attention to that. It's also noted on the website, but if you have that split bench, it's a lot more work to get this audio working. It's a whole lot longer harness that I have to build as well, but that's where this connects. Audio out. One thing that's backwards here, trying to put video 1, which is usually yellow, as white. So I'm going to move it over there. And then yellow is video 2. So you got to pay attention to that. And then of course red's the camera in if you want to add a second camera or something. So over here on the screen, to avoid using that switch, you're just going to press and hold. Alright, now it's looking for a signal. So I'm just going to plug in. So the other side of this USB is the USB. It's going to go to this guy. All that's doing is providing power to this. It's going to go into here so that you get power to your phone when you're using it. So this piece actually just gets buried in behind the dash, and then this USB just, you know, plugs into the face of it. This goes to turn on, accessory, power, and ground. So not a big deal. It does come labeled. You can also see on all these harnesses here, I've got labels on them. So pay attention to what goes where. Even on the screen cable, both of those have labels as well. With all that said, now we're mirroring.
Or some people are lucky.
So that's input 1. Now if I wanted to go to input 2, I press and hold the screen again. Now it's looking for input 2. Move it over here. Now I got my picture back. So if you're not using that input 2, I would shut number 3 off. Just flip it up. That way you're not toggling through a second source before you go back to your home screen. Press and hold again. Now I'm back to home. Go back in. Input 1 again. So that said, there's some switches back here on the back. Press and hold. See a little screen that came up? Now I can move it by pressing it. Basically, I'm going to go down to horizontal, position H. And I'm going to raise it, and you can watch the screen move over as I do that. So this helps get your picture set right. I'm bringing that picture up to where it's nice and centered. And that's all you have to do. Now I usually set these before shipping it, but if you happen to get this and it's got that off picture, that's what this is for. So hope this helps give you guys an idea what's involved in the kit. As usual, messages. Happy to walk you through things. Thanks for watching. Take care.